So just to prove to you that nothing is in the Bible by accident, we see these two angels, and two angels in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus was laying. So we see where Jesus was, and there's one angel sitting where his feet were, and one angel sitting where his head was. And if you look at Exodus chapter 25 and look at verse number 18, actually look at verse number 16. This is talking about the Ark of the Covenant, all right? If you look at the Ark of the Covenant, if you remember the design of the Ark of the Covenant, there was two angels that were surrounding a certain part of the Ark of the Covenant. Look at verse number 17. It says, "And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, and of beaten work shalt thou make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat." So here we see this picture of the mercy seat, which is where, if you turn to Hebrews chapter 9, go to Hebrews chapter 9, the mercy seat, of course, is where the blood was sprinkled of the bulls and the goats, when they did the sacrifices that pictured, the coming Christ in the Old Testament. If you look at Hebrews chapter number 9, but anyway, the mercy seats where they sprinkled the blood to picture Christ. It wasn't the actual Christ, but if you look at verse number 9 of Hebrews chapter 9, the Bible says this, talking about, it's showing you what the mercy seat was for. And it says, "Which was a figure for the time then present, which were offered both gifts and sacrifices, that could not make him that did the service perfect, pertaining to the conscience, which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and cardinal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation." This is why we don't follow the meats and drinks and the carnal ordinances of the Levitical law, because that was just a picture of Christ to come. But the point is, the mercy seat is where the blood of the bulls and the goats and the calves was sprinkled. And the Bible says that, that didn't remit sins. It was just a picture of Christ's blood on the mercy seat that would actually remit sins. So look at verse number 12. "Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood. This is talking about Jesus Christ, he entered into," now it talks about in Hebrews chapter 9, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but that the high priest would enter into the holy place once a year. But the Bible here is saying that Christ entered into the holy place once. Okay, he entered into the holy place by his own blood. He entered once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. So that's a picture of the completeness of Jesus' sacrifice. That's a picture of eternal security. That's a picture of just how the mercy seat and the Ark of the Covenant with the 2 angels was just a picture of the coming Christ, of the blood that would actually be spilt once and for all, the Bible says. And it's interesting that you see these 2 angels, one at the feet and one at the head of the blood that was actually going to eternally save us. It's just kind of a cool little picture there.